The US President Donald Trump claims he is the victim of a witch hunt. He was referring to an FBI investigation into alleged links between his campaign team and Russia in the run-up to last year's election.
Well, I respect the move, but the entire thing has been a witch hunt, and there is no collusion between certainly myself and my campaign, but I can always speak for myself and the Russians, zero.
Donald Trump also denied claims that he urged the FBI to shut down a probe into his former national security advisor, Michael Flynn.
Did you at any time urge former FBI Director James Comey in any way, shape, or form to close or to back down the investigation into Michael Flynn? And also, as you look back...
No. Next question.
That's after details from a memo allegedly written by the Bureau's SAC Director James Comey. They were reported by various news outlets. Anissa Nawi takes up the story.
Why didn't Comey tell on Trump right after he walked out of his office in February? Why did he wait several months? Why did he leak the story to the New York Times a week after getting fired and not go to the Department of Justice? Why didn't he mention this during the Senate hearing last week? Why? It doesn't make sense.
Obstruction of justice.
Obstruction of justice.
Impeachment.
Impeachment.
Obstruction of justice. Obstruction of justice.
Impeachment.
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 Ah, okay. That makes sense. And now this headline by the New York Times, too. Let Flynn go is the actual phrase they are referring to. And who cares that no one, including the New York Times, has seen this memo, which is unclassified, but has not been published for some reason. It was read to a Times reporter by an unnamed source. Does it even matter when all you want to do is throw the clown out of the circus at any cost? Whatever he does is bad, dangerous, and irresponsible. Like warning the Russians about ISIS trying to use laptops as bombs on passenger planes. How dare he?
The President of the United States revealed highly classified, beyond top secret information.
The news is quite disturbing.
This is not just a joke.
Really shocking.
It may be more serious than criminal.
That's not all. He also wants to team up with Russia. Or wait, not just Russia.
Chief global adversary Russia.
Yes, Trump wants the CEO of all evil to help him fight ISIS. It all happened during a meeting with the Soviets.
This picture was offered up by Soviet media. U.S. media wasn't invited.
Those Soviets know everything. Forget they haven't existed for 26 years. Right now, what's important is that Trump is trying to cooperate with the enemy. And yes, he's crazy, a flip-flopper, random interventionist, and inarticulate. But then
the president was emphasizing, hey, we have some common interests here. We have to work together in some critical areas. And we have an area of cooperation with transnational terrorist organizations, ISIS in particular, an organization that had already taken down a Russian airliner and murdered over 200 people in October of 2015. And so this was the context of the conversation in which it was wholly appropriate to share what the threat was as a basis for common action and coordination.
Crazy, huh? Working together to fight a common threat. The most plan I ever heard of, especially if it means all those years of thorough and well thought out strategies to destabilize the Mideast going down the drain. Those arms to al-Nusra sent in vain. Trump was a real president when he bombed Syria for the main course, followed by chocolate cake for dessert.
The moment when someone becomes president of the United States is the moment when they first really use American military might.
Now that he might work with Russia to fight terrorism, that's just plain un-American.
The recent wave of scandals surrounding Trump have dealt a blow to the US stock market, and the country's richest people have lost billions. Microsoft founder Bill Gates saw his net worth fall by $1 billion on Wednesday, and Facebook's Mark Zuckerberg and Amazon chief Jeff Bezos had even worse days. However, some people could stand to cash in on the situation. Bookmakers have shortened the odds of President Trump being removed from office this year. A week ago, the probability was just 7%, but on Wednesday, it was raised to 1 in 3. On one betting site, $500,000 have been waged on Trump's early resignation or impeachment. Global affairs analyst Patrick Henningsen told us most of the US establishment is trying to take Trump down.
I would just call it, an all-out political smear campaign and just takedown operation, which has been going on long before he was even sworn in as president. So this is really something that's been going on since both the Democrat and Republican conventions convened last summer. He is a victim of this politically, specifically the media, the establishment, the Democratic Party, and elements within the Republican Party have all conspired to target this president, to undermine this president, to use this president to damage or compromise or undermine positive U.S. bilateral relations with Russia.